Okay, let's go.
Hi everybody, it's Dave from Eco Future Heat. Just wanted to give you a quick rundown and some information on oil boilers, oil boiler servicing, how they operate and why we choose what we choose. So here we have the Worcester Bosch range of oil boilers. This is the combi version, which is the heat slave. If you have a cylinder or only wanted heating, say for example, you would choose what's called the Dainsmore. Come in a variety of different sizes to obviously make sure that the right size is for your property. So we'll start down here. So this is the most interesting part. So this is the burner. This is a big 400 plus degrees flame, absolutely one massive flame. So it's not like a gas hob, where if you turn a gas hob on, it's got 20, 25 little tiny little flames all the way around. No, with oil, it is one big flame. What happens here is it goes through something called a nozzle. The nozzle atomizes the oil. So in theory, layman's terms, that's turning a liquid into a mist, into a steam, into a substance that can actually be set on fire. Kerosene itself isn't highly flammable, has to be atomized to create the flame. So obviously what we would do on a service is, here we have just an air diffuser. Big spark electrodes, you never want to be touching these with the power on. These will give you a belt. And here we have it. This is the nozzle. I have many different nozzles, so all these ones are different to do different jobs, do different things for different sized boilers. Well, obviously what we do is we will swap this as part of the service. This is always included in a service, is the swapping of the nozzle. Obviously, as well as this, we're cleaning out the air ducts, just making sure that there's nothing wrong in here, nothing that it can actually stop it from burning correctly for its next use. Next we move on to the actual boiler itself. So this main heat exchanger in here, so the big with the square there and the circle there. Circle is where this burner sits with a big flame at the bottom. It goes through this cast iron heat exchanger and through into a secondary heat exchanger. Well, if it was just a big flame in that big square of cast iron, you wouldn't get much heat. So what we do is we have these things which are called the baffles. And all these do, in layman's terms, we have the burner at the bottom. It's going to shoot that way and it's going to force it around all these different little avenues before it gets to the top, just to make sure that as much heat is spread to the sides and obviously can be extracted as much as possible. And then after that it goes up through into this secondary heat exchanger, where it actually connects to some of the central heating water to extract as much heat from that flue gas as possible. With these Worcesters, obviously as part of a service, we have the Worcester Bosch filters, magnetic filter, that's always gets done. Expansion vessels as well, if we think we're losing pressure or we have issues like that. Rope seals, things that obviously are always going to be checked on every single time of service. What we actually have with this is an external one. You can buy the exact same boilers, internal and external. The reason that we choose these Worcester Bosches is pretty simple, really, because not just you're getting the high quality and the reliability of what is, in my opinion, the best brand on the market, you're actually also getting the most efficiency. So with all the boilers, if we went from an old boiler, so let's say this was a really old boiler, 20 plus year old, and we do get them because oil lasts because it's cast iron, this flue temperature, when we do our final testings, we get the flue temperatures. The flue temperature of this boiler, if it was an old one, would be 170 to 225 degrees. That's hot, that's really hot. So obviously we're not extracting all of the heat from that flame, whereas with these ones we're actually getting between 45 and 55 degrees. So these new boilers are extracting so much more heat. The flame's more efficient, the boilers are more efficient, we're extracting more heat from the flame that's even more efficient, and we're getting very little lukewarm temperatures leave this boiler, rather than it just pumping out 200 degrees and you losing that. These are the most efficient. I've been to a few others, the Grants, the Firebirds, Warm Flows. You know, Grants aren't bad boilers, but I find that they will still leak out 70 to 90 degrees worth of heat out of a flue, whereas these Worcesters are able to extract a lot more. So we get for these for the obviously the quality and for the efficiency. So hopefully that's give you all the information that you are going to need. If you do have any questions that you might have about oil or gas, aircon, renewables, anything that we obviously can help you with, we would be more than happy to give you any help that you need. So just drop anything down in the comments, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.